Hi everybody, Susan Brown with my Dakini Deck, and today is October 31st, 2020. It's Halloween, a time when it's said that the veil is thinner between worlds, and physics and metaphysics tells us that beyond the veil is right here, right now. So, since all time is happening at once, in one place, multiple timelines, dimensions, all here right now. So I want to ask the cards from my Dakini deck. Um, what information, what would be helpful to know from beyond the veil today on Halloween? And dare I say, a few days before the election. So here we go. I'm going to shuffle the cards. And so I just want to ask for guidance and from beyond the veil today on Halloween. I feel like I wish I had a witch's hat on right now or a fool's hat. Or what's your costume this year? I don't think I'm going to have one, but you never know. Okay, I'm shuffling the cards. I'm going to pick 4 cards. Okay, the first card I'm picking is the issue. The issue, the topic of our message from beyond the veil. Power. I picked that card for the last video, so this is interesting to see how it will translate in this reading. And the challenge, let's see. Oh, freedom. 2 red cards. Things are fiery right now. I know the astrology right now. This full moon, it's a blue moon. Blue full moon, the energy is supposed to be pretty intense right now. And I'm just picking. So this card will be the path. The suggested path. Oh, primal. Interesting. And where that primal path leads. Mediator. Well, I'm immediately struck by, it starts out, the first 2 cards, the issue and the challenge. It's really red. And power, regal domain, freedom, illuminate fingers, right? But then we move on to the path and it's more blue, it's cooler, and it talks about light and dark. And then the mediator, which is the outcome of this path, reaches the other shore. So primal, dealing with light and dark, and this hand mudra, right, it's showing the hands forming a kind of figure 8. So light and dark is part of it all, right? Infinity, yin and yang, yes and no, hello, goodbye, male and female, infinity, yin and yang. So light and dark, I mean, that's our primal expression. It's the fabric, the energy, the expression behind everything here on this side of the veil. I'm going to see if there's any more. I'm kind of jumping over, like if the issue is regal domain, power, right? So we want to be regal in our domain here. and grasp it. Like, so it's not just an idea, but really grasping it and um, expressing. And then, but the challenge is to illuminate fingers. Freedom. So sometimes when we're in our power, it's a challenge, right? To express, whether it's creatively or at home, at work, in our ideas, in our relationships, certainly. Can we take that power, lion's claw, right? And can we channel that, express that, um, be a human being illuminating with those fingers? Are we terrorizing or are we illuminating? And that's a challenge. It's hard when we step into feeling powerful or want to use our power, or however we imagine that to look like. Are we doing it um, from a place of increasing light and illuminating, or are we bullying and pushing our way through? It's a fine balance, right? So it's a challenge to step into our power and illuminate, right? Because that's really freedom. So the path then is primal. It's embracing light and dark. Okay. And the outcome is mediator who reaches the other shore. So somehow, right, when we're dealing with light and dark, which is so intertwined, you can try to be light all the time, but good luck with that. Try to be dark all the time, good luck with that. Doesn't work either way. We go, for two out there, in the light, life will deliver us to facing the shadow. And if we're in the darkness, usually someone, something, some situation will arise that gives us hope. So you can't live in one or the other. It's a balance. And so when we can reach the other shore, so that other shore between two things is a third new thing, right? Um, so what I think the message is from beyond the veil, which could be our loved ones, right? This is close to the time of the Day of the Dead, a time of honoring our ancestors. I mean, what would they want for us, right? So they, and that energy, that expression, ourselves beyond the veil, however we want to look at that. I mean, they understand this play of light and dark and shadow. And so to mediate between those two things, to hold them and to mediate, a third thing happens, right? And that's really reaching the other shore. I think that's a pretty appropriate um, guidance, wisdom, advice for right now when things are so polarized. What's the third thing we can find? You may think you're standing in the light and someone else is in the dark, vice versa, right? But when you hold the two with light, it's hard to do. What's the new thing that arises when we mediate that? Because there's nowhere to go. We can't run from it. Then what would that look like when we mediate? When we reach the other shore? What's that new thing that comes about? So I'm going to look at every card in my deck has a question. So I'm going to look at Primal, which is the path, and see, here's the book, and so when we're looking at light and dark, this card talks about responding to primal will. And the question is, what life-empowering circumstance has manifested as if out of the blue? So I think that's what happens when we hold the light and dark. But I don't want to say too much because I want this to be a question for you. So what life-empowering circumstance has manifested as if out of the blue? And then the question for mediator, perfect. It's how are you able to hold opposing views peacefully? So that's really what this is about. It's hard to hold opposing views peacefully. How do you do it? That's what the mediator's task is, right? And we reach the other shore. So happy Halloween and many blessings. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be making more videos, so I hope you'll join me.